Hi, I am Jessica. In this tutorial, we will be going through how to create a new database and a table in Design View. We will be using Microsoft Access 2013 as the database management system software. The first thing to do is to open Access by clicking on the Start button and typing Access 2013 in the Search Programs field. This is the starting page of Access. In order to create a new blank database, click on Blank Desktop Database. At this point, we are to name our database. It is very important to give a meaningful name to database. We are creating a school database, so we should name our database a school database. This database will save itself in the documents, as indicated here. To change the location, to put the database somewhere else, click on the icon and choose the location. We will save it in the desktop. Press OK. Click on the Create icon to start working on your school database. Let's create our first table using Design View. By default, there is a table already, so all we need to do is to click on the drop-down arrow below the View icon and click on Design View. We need to name our table. Since our first table will contain information about students, we will name this table as Students Information. Click OK to save the name of our table. Under the field name column, we will be typing the field names for our table. Under the data type column, we will be setting the data type each field will take. Under the description column, you can type a brief description for each field. This basically gives more information about the purpose of the field. This is optional. The first field will be the student's ID, with a data type set as number. Next, we will add the student's name field with a short text data type. The field size needs to be set as 20. This means that we need to change the default value from 255 to 20. Next, we will add the student's surname field. Another field with a short text as its data type would be the town field. However, this time the field size will be set to 15. Another field which we will be adding to the database is the date of birth of the student. This time the data type needs to be set to date/time. We will set the format of our date by clicking on the drop-down menu next to the Format field. We will choose the sort date. The dates to be accepted later when filling in our table need to be less than 1st January 2001. This means that students who are born after 1st January 2001 cannot apply for exams. We can type in an expression that limits the value that can be entered in the field, which is known as validation rule. To create a validation rule, we need to find the validation rule field in the field properties section. It will take the form of the hashtag marks the beginning and the end of the number. It is very important that a meaningful message is shown when you enter a value which has been prohibited by the validation rule. Here we will type data of exam ordering must be before 1st January 2001. The last field that is going to be added to our student information table is exam fee. The data type will be set to currency. From the field properties section, we will set the format to euro. Also, the decimal places will be set to 2. We have created our first table. Before closing our table, we need to save the changes made to our table. To do this, right-click on the table name and click on Save. Repeat the same process to close the table. We need to add another table named Student Marks. To create a new table, go to Create tab and choose Table Design to open a table in Design View. The Student Marks table will have the following fields. Mark ID, set as primary key since it will be unique for each record. data type is set to AutoNumber and the field size is remained to long integer. Next, student's ID will be the foreign key, so that we can later create a relationship between the student's information table and the student's mark table. The data type needs to be the same as the set in the student's information table, hence number and field type long integer. After this, the results field is added to our table, with the data type set as number and field size as long integer. It makes sense to add a validation rule to this field so that marks greater than 100 would not be allowed to be keyed in later on in datasheet view. To create a validation rule, go to the Field Properties section, and next to the validation rule field, we will type the last field is the subject field, whose data type should be short text and the field size need to be changed to 20. We have created our second table. This means that now we need to save and close the table. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. See you then!